Yeah, so we'll kind of explain why we did this a little bit later in the patch note show, but we are rewriting all base abilities to be more about the functionality of it, not so much the details on the number and the timing. Obviously, you'll have the cooldown there represented, but we've now created advanced descriptions that players can access both in their champion page
dude.
as well as
We needed this.
in the ability page when you're actually in-game. And so there you'll find out, hey, here's the exact numbers on the damage, right?
That's what we
need.
It's
a weapon,
I
here's
hate
the
it
ammo
when they added
count. We even have, we're doing some ranges, right? Like fully effective up to this range.
I know exactly what you mean,
we've also standardized all feet into just a general units, right? Because we had feet units, and it was kind of this this arbitrary system where we used both words. And that was, you know, looking back, Paladins been through a lot of design theories. The last 2 years we've been super solid, so this is just us doing a pass. And shout outs to Kevin R, not me. Yeah, shout outs to Kevin, you know, the great one. That's not here. Who has spent a ton of time rewriting all of these abilities, both the short and long advanced descriptions, as well as we're going to be taking a crack at cards as well, kind of standardizing over the next few patches, like how we are presenting information and making sure that, like, when we tell you this does this effect,
know
right,
exactly, like questions that I have, I don't need to go in the training ground and try to test it out anymore. That'll be amazing.
A lot of unconscious connections in players' minds when they're reading these abilities, and they're like, oh, I remember that was from there, and now I already understand what it's doing without it just being written differently. Another thing that we didn't talk about under investigation, I do want to give a ton of shout outs to Prague and our tech art. And I think VFX fixed a few as well. Like, we had a ton of bug fixes this patch, and those guys knocked out a lot of backlogged issues. Obviously, we've been working on a longer patch cycle, as you guys have known, but we feel like it's working great in the quality and content we're putting out and the number of
they're
fixes
working
we're able to
on
do.
it.
Super excited
I think
about
they said that was
Paladins
one of
right
the
now.
things that they said that they are
And shout
aware
outs
of,
to them.
but they don't know how to
we
fix
have,
it.
I'm gonna get yelled at for this because someone's gonna have it. One of our programmers has made some progress on the FPS drops for Shaolin.
I see, John.
We've made improvements. We're confident that there are improvements. There still may be some edge cases where players will receive it, but again, if you are running into Shaolin FPS drops, like,
I'm kidding.
Reiterating what Amanda said, please give us all the information in a video so we can help track it down, because we have made some improvements to that and other charge mechanics that worked like it.
Again, the ever-present goal, always be a better version of the game every single update, and so that's why you get 16 minutes, essentially, of what's being fixed coming forward with it. I also love this update show so far, mainly because we have gone now 16 minutes, and no one understands why we're dressed like pirates. And
I forgot.
It's going to be one of those. Yeah, it's again, it's just your casual attire. It's nothing different.
I didn't know you guys dressed up for a show. I'm just here at work today.
We wanted to make you feel comfortable on camera.
I will say this hair is getting in my eye, and I'm basically when it falls down.
Pirates actually never wore their earrings on the right side.
Back in 2000.
Well, either way, after all of that, we do still have new things that are going to be coming through for this one. And before we get into balance, before we get into battle pass things and later changes, we actually have a new game mode that's going to be coming.
Don't worry about it.
It's also kind of not new at the same time. We've had a version of it, and now it's going to be coming in to kind of have a permanent home here in the realm.
Yeah, so we're now introducing King of the Hill, which is an Onslaught variant, right? This is not a new game mode for those of you who played End Times. We actually had this game mode, but with a little bit crazy effects, right? Like low gravity and low cooldown or cooldown resets. So we've taken the craziness out. For a long time, Paladins is focused on Siege, right? It is our main game mode. It is what we want to focus on.
I'm kidding.
But we've kind of, I feel, left some of our other game modes behind a little bit, right? When you're looking at Onslaught and TDM, they both only have 4 maps, not a ton of variation. So we were really like, let's look at our other game modes and be like, how can we improve this to make this like a mainstay? Like, this is an actual mainstay game mode and not just this offbeat casual thing or super casual thing. So we're introducing four maps variants for King of the Hill, and for those who don't know, this is going to have rotating points. So every minute and 30 seconds, the point will rotate around the map. We have Snowfall Junction, we have Trade District. So we're converting some of our maps. We have a Magistrate's Archive that is actually a rotating version of it. And then we have Marauder's Port also now has a King of the Hill.
That's what we really want.
Super excited. It's been really fun playtesting. All 4 of those maps have a much different playstyle. And so keying into Onslaught, you're going to have up to 8 different ways to play now versus the 4. For PTS, it's going to be 100% King of the Hill when you queue Onslaught. Just for testing, we want to give it as much feedback as possible. And then when we go live, it'll probably be a majority of King of the Hill. for the chance to get those maps. Because we think
doesn't Overwatch do multiple different rank
that
modes?
we haven't given a lot of attention to in the past.
Yeah,
it's all about making Paladins foundation stronger. Right? It's really what we've been focusing on the last year, and we think this improving the game as a whole.
Nope, you missed nothing. They announced that they're doing King of the Hill.
Way better.
They're doing King of the Hill, which is Onslaught, but with a moving point.
The 2 game modes I've heard
and a bunch of bug fixes
as things they'd love to see. King of the Hill is probably number 1 on that list, where it's just we want to have that. Moving the point around the map just makes it feel fresh every single time you come into the game. So it's going to be incredibly fun. And I expect to see a lot of you out there playing it, because I know that's probably where I'm going to be, because I'm terrible at the game, and so you don't want me to siege queues. Either way, that is going to be the fun for the game mode, a nice home for everyone who wants to go play that. And it's also nice.
Yeah, the only bug that they fixed that I've actually seen multiple times is the Leon dying
as well with this update. And before we get into champion specifics, even before we get into one kind of blanket change for a few champions, the biggest thing is that this update is going to be bringing in a new ranked split, which means you're going to have new rewards as well as new maps available. So Stonekeep is coming back into the map pool for your ranked games. Frozen Guard's getting knocked on out of there.
Yeah, out of there.
And Frozen Guard's in right now?
Might hear some cheering, but it just from the NA players.
Is it from the Frozen Guard or the introduction of
I didn't even know that Frozen Guard was.
I think honestly, just a little bit.
I thought it was taken out
for some of those players.
But that's going to be a fun one. But they're doing it without any special effects
and no Frozen Guard whatsoever in your ranked games.
I haven't even gotten Frozen. I don't even remember getting Frozen Guard.
We also have
all my ranked games are Fish Market.
Kind of
yeah, actually, same.
This is the one that hits
I like
a
Fish
few
Market,
champions,
though, so
but Androxus is the special
opinion.
case. So I'll let you explain him and then splash on down to the rest.
Yeah. So first part of Androxus's change is going to be that he will now refund 15% of his ultimate charge for each ult charge not consumed.
Wait.
So what this is doing, right? We're looking at standard
poggers, dude.
Our champions consume their ultimate charge.
Whoa!
Because Paladins, through 4+ years, has had a variety of teams.
This is my
team
favorite
that
part
is
of the
on it right
day.
now for the past 2 years. We really want to kind of fix up some of these inconsistencies, as you could tell with the text pass as well. And so ultimates where I would start it and then die before I even got an effect.
How's that?
And I would have my ult consumed felt really bad. So the second part of this is what we're doing on a few champions is you will not consume your ultimate charge on the following champions until the pre-fire has actually been completed. So Androxus
if it should be louder, just let me know. I can turn it up more.
And then his 15% refund is very similar to how Victor expends his ammo or his ultimate charge. Up next is going to be Fernando, who is also unique in his own regard. Players can now cancel this ability early. Congratulations! For the minor instances that you may want to cancel it early, you can do that now.
Should I turn it up more?
Important to note that we plan on doing Torvald as well. After investigating how he's configured, basically tech-wise, it was going to be a little bit too much investment for what our goals were for getting out this patch. So we're going to be looking at giving Torvald that functionality moving forward.
I think
and then
Torvald
Grok Tempest will no longer consume ultimate charge until pre-fire is completed. We have given the same pass to Ruckus as well, his Hexafire. Also, no longer consuming that ultimate charge until the pre-fire has been completed, until players have gained an effect from their ultimate, a benefit, whether it's hurting enemies or healing allies. And then Vivian as well has this, so Sentinels will no longer take ultimate charge until the pre-fire has been completed. So.
And for Vivian, that feels like a double down, because she already charges her ult while she has those Sentinels.
Wait a minute.
You're going to be deadly Sentinels coming through, but those are the ones that are kind of in the group.
It's until after pre-fire's done, so you don't just get it from using it.
This is kind of also in a group, but it's going to be splashed around a few different champions. So you're gonna, I think, explain the tech behind it, and then when you hear this phrase in the future, you'll know that this is what it means. So dodge roll for Cassie is being changed to increase momentum carry after dodge roll ends. So you can go ahead and explain what that means and how that impacts the game.
So for those of you who missed our last patch notes or weren't aware of this, is that we did roundabout changes to how our charges are implemented tech-wise, right? And that led to fantastic improvements, specifically around server correction, and more specifically around players that had high ping and having to deal with server correction.
Oh, that's what it was for?
But what this meant was that kind of how our momentum carry system
they nerf her, and then she's fine, and then they just
kind of got
change her again
a little bit and altered. For the most part, we didn't view this as a problem, but there were a few champions that we wanted to make improvements on after the first patch. And so these aren't,
dude, I can't believe they nerfed
for the most part all already had a little bit.
Who would have thought they would have ever nerfed Grok?
Charge, and this will just allow them to push a little bit further.
It.
Most importantly, it's really when they're in the air that players felt this the most, right? Where they would just characters that would drop like a rock. Maeve was a big one. I believe we actually hotfixed her in the other day, so Maeve should be working fine in live. But dodge roll Cassie.
No, because you have to hit now.
One of the things
before you would still get a little bit of a percentage if you
miss
your bounces. Now you don't
you're gonna get that explanation whenever you see that sentence that you see down there on the screen. That's what that means. And now we can move into, I think, a more interesting change, because Dredge,
yeah, I know, she feels so great.
One. I like the way this is going to end up, so I'm just going to let you go through. It's a cursed howitzer and a little bit of Kraken changes.
We have a lot of balance changes here, but I'm probably going to spend the most time on Dredge. So Dredge, historically, his ult has basically been like, I guess I'll use it, right? It's really powerful, but it required so much setup to actually be effective that it almost felt like a non-ability against players that were at some competency to be able to I'm in this big red circle, I should probably get out. And I know there are players out there who don't do this, but a lot of players,
dude, he's calling people out.
Get out of that even without movement abilities. Also, there was a little bit of a pre-fire delay on so you would fire the ability and it wouldn't actually deploy at your crosshair. There would be about a 0.2. There would be a 200 millisecond frame or frames worth that where your crosshair ended up would actually deploy it. So you could start the ability and whip your camera 180 if you're fast enough and actually deploy it behind you, which can kind of hurt a lot, right? Because in Dredge's case, right, a lot of times he's like, when I fire this, I want it to just fire where I'm pointing.
Hoping they would just take I was hoping, yeah. Same.
Sorry, the lower thirds aren't matching up because I'm going out of order. I apologize, production. They're probably all hating me right now as they change it. Yes, sorry guys. So we've removed the pre-fire timing ability, right? So where you fired at your crosshair is where it's going to deploy at. And then we have also reduced time to deploy from 2 seconds to 1.7. So Kraken, once you press the ability, is going to be coming out half a second faster, which is very significant when you're looking at players' ability to get in and out of it. Also, if you're able to slow them with Harpoon, right, it's a more guaranteed follow-up. But what this means is we are going to be reducing the damage, because you are going to be hitting this more frequently. Even in testing, more players are getting hit by this. So damage is not going to be a one-hit, one-kill anymore for most characters. It's going from 4,000 to 1,400. But we'll just take a look at significantly faster. We've also increased the knockback, as you can. Most people don't even know it had a knockback.
I didn't even know it had a knockback.
Because either people died or it was a front line, and so maybe they get moved around a little bit. But we've now increased the efficiency, right? This is going to be the players are going to need to have so much more cognizance of when this comes out, right? You have to react to it immediately. There's no extra little bit of timing for you to actually take a second to look at where's the best way to get out. You kind of just have to move. And if you're already engaging someone, there's a strong chance you're going to get hit by this ultimate now.
All the Inaras out there cursing themselves for being so slow already. They're just well, I guess I'm just going to have to take this one.
I guess it's not much damage, right?
Yeah, so we felt like this is actually giving Dredge an ultimate, right? That wasn't dependent on, I need my Ceres to set me up.
Yeah.
Because that's really where Dredge's ultimate was that it required setup from the rest of your team. And
I don't know. I kind of think it's actually okay. It doesn't instant kill people anymore.
Unless you're in a voice comms communicating exact timings, it doesn't feel consistent. And so we believe this will make Dredge feel like he has an actual ultimate now instead of just a ton of power in his base kit. And then, sorry to bring it back, production, we are taking some power out of his weapon reload, and this is a double hit, right? Scuttle is probably one of the most frustrating talents. We see that a lot. And so this is going to hurt Scuttle's ability to burst players, right? You'll still potentially get 1850 against flanks, and you can combo them, but against some higher
I know they're nerfing it.
It's not going to work. So we just wanted to take a little bit of power out of that reload projectile, put it into a more consistent ultimate that's also going to just feel better
take it out. Yeah, they
make
could
more
take
of an
it out.
impact.
Yeah, so it's going down 1,000 damage, 850. But I'm excited for the new Kraken. I think it's going to be a lot more fun to try and get that one out. And then we have some other changes that are coming forward. After Dredge comes Drogoz.
Oh, wait.
And this one's kind of interesting because you're pulling a little bit out of the talent and putting it into the base kit. A lot kind of like what we had done with some cards and Barrack a couple of updates ago, but this one I think impacting the booster a lot more, making him feel more jetpacky.
So we're we kind of have done a lot of these power shifts. I'm personally a really big fan of them, where it's not necessarily buffing or nerfing, but making a character a little bit more consistent in what they do, and maybe hurting their damage to compensate or their defensibility. Something has to give, right, when you're shifting power. Wormjets right now, ever since we released it, right, like flying with Wormjets feels really, 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 really good. Flying with base booster feels really, really, really bad. Where you're not really flying, you're kind of like, I guess I'll have a super jump for a second. So we've basically increased the base booster effectiveness. This is a pretty big number. There's multiple knobs and variables to this, but it's about 25% more effective.
So you'll be able to fly a little bit better.
A little bit better.
Just normal drones.
So they're buffing mobility. I thought they were going to say he can't fly anymore.
You're not going to stay in the air forever, but you could stay in there for a little bit longer, especially if you have some of the more fuel or booster affecting cards. And then Wormjets is getting two things. One is obviously losing 25%. So this will still have the same acceleration, a very, very, very slight lower max speed. But overall, won't feel like you're losing too much, but it will no longer increase booster regeneration rate. So for those who don't know, your booster regenerated faster. So this means with this shift, right, with the booster now no longer increasing your regeneration rate, like players have to be way more cognizant, because that was the problem with me for Wormjets, is that like you didn't have to think about managing your fuel. You were just in the air and you're like, oh, I got to hit my thrust real quick, and then not consume booster for X seconds, and then I'm back. And you weren't really having to worry about this resource management system.
Helvian's crying his buns off
stay in the air like that. And so this will allow Drogoz to still have good flight, good movement in Wormjets.
Don't lie.
Either have to put more loadout points into increasing your base fuel, or getting fuel regeneration, or decreasing fuel consumption after thrust, or getting kills to get fuel. So you'll have to be way more cognizant of like where you're at in your booster, otherwise you're going to plummet to the ground.
Customize it a little more for staying in the air as opposed to just staying in the air and getting everything else. So he's going to be able to still fly just the same, but you're going to have to tweak it a little bit. Next on the list, it's going to be Fernando. So not only is he getting the ability to cancel out of Immortal early, but he's having a couple of things. I actually really like these changes because they're feel-good changes for him, and a lot of them are around the shield and its cooldown, and as such, also his max time that he's going to be able to kind of keep up.
I wasn't going to explain everything, but I just want to explain everything. But I don't want to be here forever. So quick look. Fernando will go through the numbers, and then we'll talk about kind of the theory around it. So first off, his shield, his cooldown's getting reduced from 15 seconds to 12 seconds.
Okay.
We are reducing the max active time from 10 seconds to 8 seconds.
You can't just make something a good thing and just leave it that way.
Charge-ins feel slightly better. And then he is getting a new card. So this previously Towering Barrier, what it did was it increased the max health of your shield, which doesn't really do much against Wrecker. So it said this cooldown will now reduce the cooldown of your shield up to 4 seconds if you max it out. Obviously, you need to invest cards into it, which takes out some of Fernando's other good defensive or power cards with Fireball cooldown reduction. But overall, I think this will make Fernando much more well-rounded champion. Also, the Aegis is getting 2 seconds off cooldown instead of the down to 12-second cooldown.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to get your shield up a little bit more, and if you bring it down with this card, you're going to have the uptime up. I know anybody who plays
they did it, dude.
Since the cooldown or shield goes on cooldown,
I guess you never really leave it up for the
You're
whole
probably
time,
going to like this card a ton. So it's going to be comfortable for Fernando.
Yeah, I like the Towering Barrier card. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and big theory here is that Fernando, again, you've kind of mentioned it, right? He's the only frontline
we'll
that
see.
has kind of.
Hey, Jagger Minster, thank you so much for the follow, dude.
So
Greatly appreciate it, my man.
Stunned out of it or locked out of it. Two,
I appreciate you.
He's locked out of doing really much else. He can charge with it, but you're really not doing anything else with it. And so this just means like his uptime should be more.
Yeah.
Right. He should have more uptime if he's not able to detach from his shield. Where other frontlines are like, I'll just throw this, and then I can also still participate in the battle. And if I get stunned, it doesn't matter. My shield is still doing its job. So we think this will position him more as like frequent uptime when it comes to shield.
Or turn him into a
versus
point tank.
The strength
I don't know.
Of the shield
We'll see.
itself.
Yeah. It's going to feel good. I'm excited for it again. As someone who almost always ends up being a frontline player, it's always nice to see those changes come through.
So that
We're going to skip a couple letters, though. Go down. The next one on the list is Imani.
Yes.
And this one, again, it's a few changes around the place, but some of it's shifting from cards into base kit and then letting the cards be more impactful in what they do instead of having that be the force change to make her be effective only with that loadout.
Yes. I also, just quick throwback, because this is an AOC request. Fernando was a light AOC request, or just a general request to change it.
Yeah.
And then Drogo's, the Worm Jet's Power Shift was an AOC request.
I hate you, AOC.
And for all of them that participated in the summit. I'll try and remember.
Thank God someone is. You were few and far.
So Imani, Pyreball. So we've added an in-hand offset for charged Pyreballs.
I know.
Before they were actually following your Ice Shard stance.
Most of them.
Where like, even though visually it's always coming from your right, if you happen to have the offset on the left, you would shoot it from the right visually, but it would get caught because it's actually coming out here. So you'd catch on walls a lot where you're like, oh, I'll peek from the right side of this wall, but I'm actually firing to the left, and it clips. So no longer will be the case. It has its own unique offset for charged versions only. Tapping it will still do the left, right, left, right. Then Inferno Cannon. So players will now be able to move during base at this ability. So the Swift Seer card previously gave this effect.
High-res? Dude, they're one-eyed pirates.
It is equivalent to what Swift Seer 3 was previously.
I don't know.
For those of you that played with that card.
Players not move.
And then Swift Seer is actually, we're not changing the text of it, but it has, we've kind of in the background adjusted exactly what it's increasing. And it is increasing Swift Seer at 100%. What this means is that it'll be
it says base Inferno Cannon.
About 20% more effective than the previous maxing of Swift Seer was when you max it now, though, with the base movement speed. So
20% more movement
it's a lot of numbers in the background that aren't well displayed on patch notes, but overall, you can now move at base with Inferno Cannon, and if you max Swift Seer, you move a little bit faster than you did before.
Very similar to the Frostbomb change, where it was just the base movement of it got I think a little bit nerf. Like it was slower, but with the card, it could go a little faster. Same concept here. You can move in it, and if you decide to max out your card, you can move faster in it either way.
I see what they're saying.
And right after her, we have Io coming through, so we had a couple of fixes with her earlier. Now an ability. This one affects Moonlight and more of a line of sight around it, and how it was kind of breaking a little faster. Now it's going to be a little easier to maybe keep that on your target.
Yeah, so you can read it right there. Basically, we're not going to break Io's link. During immediate loss of sight, there'll be about I think it's a 0.8 second window right now. Really, this is to combat the
I'll put it right there.
People stepping in and out, right? Like if someone's going behind a wall for a long time, like we want the link to break.
This is amazing.
To be
this
strong,
is what we needed.
But she has to have line of sight, and you can see now. I think it's actually a second. So you can lose line of sight. It'll keep the heal up
a second and a half
for that duration. You still are going to have to aim it at the player as you would normally.
Might be a second.
But this should help with, especially some maps like Bazaar, where you have a bunch of pillars that people are dying, or just corners that people are like
so if you lose sight for like half a second, let's say that they dash, right? Let's say you're healing, and then they dash past something, and it normally would break the link. It's not going to break it anymore.
And it'll kind of reset the timer as the line of sight breaks. So you can keep the heal going.
I like it.
And keep yourself alive while doing so. So ideally keeping the maximum amount of healing for your team up. So take note of what you just saw there, because I expect to see a lot of IOs doing it. The next on the list, though, is going to be Khan. Is the same thing that we saw earlier. I'll just go through this. Commander's Grab, increased momentum carry after Commander's Grab in, so that's just going to feel better.
Makes sense.
Especially for players with high ping, as you had mentioned earlier, but just in general. And then Koga is the next one on the list, getting a general kind of increased base movement.
Hell yeah, dude. As long as you're aiming at them still. Yeah, true.
Also, abilities for Shadow Step also will receive the increased momentum carry. Very, very, very minor adjustment.
Shadow Step also got changed.
Players sail a very short distance if they use this in air, but not across the map. And then Cyclone Strike, there was actually a small window where Koga, even though visually he's still dashing around after his ultimate had ended, that he was hittable, and we didn't intend that, or we don't like that. So he will now be immune until he's actually back to the main spot. Right? If he's still dashing, he won't take damage.
I know people say he's not, but
so you'll regain control and then maybe die, depending on where you are,
probably right after,
or live. Either way, but
not before you.
You'll at least be immune during the duration that you're meant to be. And
coffee.
That's fine.
Don't tell anyone.
We'll clean it up.
That's all the people watching.
So the next one on the list, and actually the next two on the list, are going to be very similar changes. You've heard this phrase before. Maeve increased momentum carry after pounce ends. This was one that was actually in the previous hot fixes you had mentioned, because you said she was the most the one you could feel it the most on when you kind of hit the end and then just
kind of broke her combo.
Hard.
What she was doing.
Now she'll feel more comfortable. And then Maldamba with Slither. After Slither ends, he'll have a little bit more increased momentum after that. So that's just going to keep those champions feeling nice. Movement abilities as a whole, these last couple of updates have
I feel like he never gets dashed up in the air, so
there's
it's
still,
not
I think, maybe a couple on the list for later, but this is hitting so many. We still have more changes, by the way.
We got to power through this now. We got to show off
bugs where they like don't
reason
stop
we're all in pirate shenanigans.
Oh, I thought that was just because of the dredge changes.
Oh, that's true. Could be.
See, there's a blanket cover.
We definitely don't have pirate skins.
Either way, so Pip is the next one on the list. A little bit of talent change and a little bit of card change.
Yeah, AOC request, combat medic, so weapon shots are now going to be healing for 750.
Oh!
600, so this should make this a talent that can directly compete.
That's 150 more.
With your healing potion. So excited about that. And then Pep in the Step, getting a little bit of shift in power, going from 3-second increased duration on the movement speed, but significantly less movement speed. So more uptime, less burst effectiveness on MS gain.
Pep in the
Step.
Then
Ruckus on the list. Increased momentum.
A few buffs. I'll tell you after.
Increased momentum carry after advance ends. You dash, it feels better. If you haven't gotten that yet, I'm just going to keep saying it. Strix, next on the list. This is actually a very interesting thing, because I think this is one of the first cards, maybe in my mind, that has this kind of effect on it.
Yeah. So Roost was like an at-will DR move, but it kind of allowed him to duel players too effectively, especially other snipers. Right? If you're in a Kinessa versus Strix battle, it's like, well, it doesn't matter if I get the first shot off. I'm not killing him if I'm Kinessa. Mostly because he was able to get this DR on cooldown. Not even on cooldown, just like at will. Personal DR is really strong, and we didn't really like how that was done. Right? IO has something similar, but that's delivered to you through another player versus just like, all right, I am hitting right trigger or right mouse button, and now I have 30x% DR.
Because when he's looking down the scope, I see.
For what we wanted, and it was obviously we have no visual tell to back it up. So now players will gain ultimate charge on hits with Talon Rifle, so up to 10%.
So I see.
Gonna increase your ultimate charge rate, get your flashbang, use it a little bit, have your defensive ability up a little bit more. And then Dexterous, we're also reducing the effectiveness. This is the weapon swap, is going from 20% scaling down to 10% scaling, so you can switch it 50% as fast and not basically insta-swap into your flare projectile combo.
So you're going to be more sniper-oriented,
it's not like he's going around ruining people's lives.
You could still do this shot switch shot, but there's a little bit slower, right? So it's going to take more prediction, right, from you as the Strix.
I don't even know what I want to do.
There's a larger burden of knowledge for that. Stop looking at it.
And so this one is going to be the coffee doesn't exist.
You have to invest all 5 points into
so I'm going to glance over this because you want to dive into the explanation more with the next change. But Torvald, field study, reduce the damage increase that you get from his bubble from 30% down to 15%.
But you make it last
longer. You're going to dive
into
that because it's kind of tied in with the next change that is Tyra, whose Hunter's Mark is going to be feeling the same kind of change.
Yeah, Tyra's getting a little bit more of a shift. So we can just go down Tyra at first, and then I'll kind of do theory again. I like that style a little bit more. So first up, Hunter's Mark. We are reducing the cooldown of Hunter's Mark. Don't fret yet. From 15 seconds to 14 seconds. It's a buff, I know. End of the world. We are reducing the duration from 6 seconds to 5 seconds. Additionally, for Hunting Party itself, the talent, not the ability, no longer increases damage amp. So you are still gaining the 15%, you and your allies, but you're not getting the bonus to 25 that it was at. We've also removed the cooldown reduction on it. So see, it all works in the end. And then Favored Quarry, we are changing.
So I'm going hunting part. Not hunting. I'm going.
That card actually functions
now.
So previously, Favored Quarry was the 2% or 2-second scaling up to 10-second increase in your reveal, which meant players were essentially, if that's maxed out, revealing people for like 15 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And so at a high level for Tyra, we felt like the uptime that this ability offered with the correct cards versus the investment from Tyra was too great, right? You just can like throw it on, not even think about it, not even have to worry about reapplying it. So we think like kind of shifting this now to increase the duration of Hunter's Mark at a much lower value. So technically, you can get more damage amp for longer.
But overall, I'm fine with
but
this
only
change.
up to 3 seconds if you invest all of this, and you're not going to be revealing people for 10 extra seconds. Yeah. They'll be revealed for up to 3 extra seconds.
We don't like damage amp,
so
right?
really, we're just kind of condensing the window. Right? We want Tyra to have more uptime. I'm sorry, have to manage the uptime of these more and be more cognizant, right? She can't just throw it on someone and be like, well, I guess you're revealed for the next half hour. 15 seconds, half hour feels the same in a fast-paced shooter.
No, we don't like damage amp.
Happy with shifting Tyra here, and then at a larger kind of look, right, with the damage amp.
We could take damage amp
like, we like
completely out of the
amp.
game, and I'd be okay with that.
Not can be, is healthy. In the right.
It's good on Genos,
right? Yeah. So like with Tyra specifically, it's like I have damage amp, but it's like doing all these other things and also revealing the person for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah. But you just nerfed it to the ground.
So basically, it's like for these next 8 seconds or whatever it was before, you are not doing anything against me.
I actually think the grenade build might be better with the damage reduction.
A smaller window, right? It's
like
the opposite
better,
problem, where it's not a long window of a constant effect. It's like a super powerful swing, because not only are you getting the 30% damage amp, you're also getting the 3k shield. And so what that creates is like a very minute window of opportunity for a player to just say, you aren't beating me for these 2 seconds. No matter who you are, essentially, like I am the better character, and there's nothing you can do that's skill-based to combat that.
Yeah.
And that requires, obviously, extra coordination, right? So Torvald just inherently scales with player skill and more so player coordination.
Also, now uniform, nice 15% on all your damage amp that's going to be coming down. So Tyra, Torvald, and Genos all going to be only giving 15%.
See, the problem with Torvald is it just doesn't last long enough that the 15% is going to make any difference.
Up on the list,
Tyra,
Life Exchange removed inaccuracy on Shatter. That one is kind of
self-explanatory for what it is.
And then Zen, Whirl, well, as you can imagine, increased momentum carry after Whirl ends. And that's going to do it for all of the balance.
When you jump, you don't have to miss your heal anymore.
Don't leave. Wait, we have stuff.
Way more to go through. So the next one is actually still going to, it's not even the pirate reason anymore. We're going to, I think, a more polished. This is actually another feel-good change, though. And it is a UI rework that's going to be coming through. And so I think, Rafe, you can actually talk about this maybe a little more as to what's being changed and why we're changing.
So basically with the UI rework, we didn't touch a whole lot of the user flow. So you kind of interact with the game mostly the same. The UI rework really focused primarily on just kind of quality of life with the visual polish, to be honest. We did make a few kind of layout changes. You'll see it pretty soon. But really, the issue with the UI before had been, it was simple, which was effective, but it kind of lacked that presentation quality we've always wanted out of Paladins. A lot of contemporary games out there kind of go for a similar style, and we just really felt that kind of polishing the client itself and all the kind of buttons you interact with to kind of play the game really helped raise the quality bar of what you're seeing when you just open the client and you get to the landing page, or you want to navigate to the champion screen. And we did do a little bit of work actually on the UI update of kind of future-proofing ourselves. As you know, we keep adding more and more champions to the game, so there is a lot of content being added over time.
There is.
So yeah, while it doesn't fundamentally change everything of how you're interacting with the client, the presentation quality is just significantly better now.
Better presentation, should feel a little bit better, maybe more responsive as things go through as well. And I think we actually have that to be able to kind of look through, see some of the new UI changes, be able to click through. Obviously, I think at a glance, well, first off, at a glance, things are really pretty on the sides, but if you look at your list on the left, pretty similar. You might see a little spoiler down at the very bottom there. I wonder what time warp could be. Either way,
as a note, our Battlesuit Angel skin is not displaying properly here. It is a build and in progress. But what we're focusing on right now is the kind of top header bar, the quality of the buttons, the kind of arting up of all the framing elements.
They changed this, changing Paladins.
We did, and the side looks so good.
Yeah, everything just about the kind of UI factor here to the client will feel just significantly better. We do have actually one kind of new change to kind of how we tab through windows. So if you'll notice as we go through these screens, so if we go into the champion screen, the kind of header bar will actually separate, and we now use visual icon tabs to kind of navigate between complex information.
Nice.
Here, actually on our champion select screen, we came up with a slightly different system for picking champion selects, so we can kind of infinitely scroll to the side as we add champions two specific
I want you to be able to see everything.
Ultimately, even in the old system, we were going to hit a point where you're going to have to scroll one way or another because we had just about filled our entire screen as is.
Oh, I see.
But as you can see on the screen, we've made some camera adjustments as well in the 3D models, and it's nice to kind of be able to kind of thumb through all the champions at once and see what they actually kind of look like in game. And if you like what you're seeing, you can kind of investigate further.
Being able to come through again, everything just kind of re-up. This looks amazing. Being able to go through, you can see Strixus's really weird key bindings right there. The numpad 3, numpad 1, whatever he wants to play. Either way, it's gonna be fine. And then up at the top, like you have all of those little shifts. There's a speaker in front of wherever you're typing. I can't see it, so joke's on you. Only Stream got that one.
Only Stream got it.
You can go through like your skins.
Oh,
weapons,
look at that up in the top.
Everything.
Skins, weapons.
It looks so clean.
Yeah, again, we really wanted to target, a clean factor. And kind of another issue we'd had with this screen for a long time was there was just kind of an obscene amount of icons on screen with the thumbnails with the skin select.
Kind of looks like
we wanted a cleaner, simpler approach so we can kind of let the UI art kind of frame.
It looks a lot like Realm Royale to me.
Quickly.
But I mean, same company made it, right?
The card art was nice. Not all of them scaled.
It kind of reminds me of
these like big gigantic pieces, or like framing
that
piece
card
of them
game
inside the loading screen.
Oh yeah,
the one
they didn't always translate. You'd be like, what is that skin? It's like a blob of red.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We had so many arts that would look good in the loading frame, but not so good in the champion page here. So that was definitely a long-standing issue for us. And this is the kind of screen that you go to as a player where you kind of really want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And be able to navigate through it cleanly and just kind of enjoy a really awesome presentation of the champions.
And at the same thing, it just feels more Paladins to me, and I think that's kind of the best change of it. It's
more
just
Paladins,
more in depth with the game.
Yeah, more Paladins, more fantasy. We wanted everything in the game to kind of reflect the kind of level.
Look at the high-res block up there.
Last year.
But along with that, we actually have, I believe, well, as you can see, they're switching and tabbing some things through, but we also are going to have some splash art updates. I think you've actually shared some of these progress. I think IO specifically on Twitter. Oh, yeah. But Fury is on the list, Pip's on the list. It's just going to be kind of an ongoing change.
Yeah, so we tried kind of a different approach on splash arts last year for a few reasons. We had some successes, but ultimately we kind of wanted to go back to a more rendered approach. So we have a little bit of splash art inconsistency in the client right now. So I've been spending some time to kind of go in and start to backfill that stuff. Dates and when we were going to get the majority of these in is still TBD, but as I progress on things, I'm happy to share it with the community at large.
I didn't see it. I missed it,
Good news, however, though, is IO default update did make it in for patch 7. So once the game is patched live, you'll get to enjoy some awesome new IO splash art.
So you'll get to see that, and then again in the future, like Fury is on the list, Pip's on the list. I'm sure we're maybe going to hit.
No,
we're going to post the Koga whip up, and there's definitely others coming. It's targeting the recent champions in particular that we've done with a more stylized approach, as well as a few other splash arts kind of community request stuff that people have been wanting to see updated.
Yes, definitely, John.
Just stay tuned. We'll keep updating those as we go.
Couple other changes that are, I guess, only one other change that's going to be happening with this. So you get the new UI, you're going to get some splash art. There's also something that's going to come in. This feels like a quality of life change more than anything, but match lobby purchasing. So when you're in the lobby and let's say you choose your champion and you're like, man, I really wish I had X skin. I'm playing Cassie. I just really want to grab this. You can now just purchase it right then and there if you want to. And so I think that's just gonna make
get that bread, Hi-Res.
Super easy to access.
And so long story short, splash art, new UI, match lobby purchasing for your skins. It's going to be very, very smooth. And now we can move into the thing that I think everyone's been waiting for, and the reason that this is
Pirates
Treasure, and it's the new Battle Pass that's going to be coming.
Oh, it is a Battle Pass, not an event.
There's going to be a lot of cool skins already coming with this one, and much like other Battle Passes, you have the rewards. I believe we might have gotten a little preview of the Death Stamp while we were just slaughtering Dredge, who is also a pirate, so he's fine where he is. But you're also going to get some skins, the first one being, I think, the most prominent because it's going to be Io.
Yes. Oh! Everyone's favorite moon goddess.
Everyone's favorite moon goddess.
I'm not biased.
Damn, girl!
Not biased, Kevin.
If you don't like just Io in a pirate hat, then you have to get the skin specifically for Luna in a pirate hat.
Oh, yeah.
We doubled down on the pirate
like a Paladins diamond.
So, yeah, this was really just a fun skin to work on with Io.
Dang. So there you get to see.
I love how Luna is also
take a listen
in a
to the voice
pack
or in game.
And did we mention? Sorry, this was
any of you scallywags in need of a duck? The Jolly Roger was cheap, I got it on sale.
Blue tail.
That one.
Blue tail.
The lunar pirates take no prisoners. Only.
Well, there's pirates on the moon now. But I think very, very important to note, this is the instant unlock. So once you get the battle pass, you get the skin for or immediately, I guess. So you're going to unlock this, have this available to you once you purchase it. The others you will earn as you get the battle pass experience and things go forward. But you get also that weapon having a pirate's hat. Like everything about this.
3 pirates, pirate hats.
Everything.
I don't know whichever one yells at me. I'm not sure which one is the true captain of the ship. I'm gonna bet Luna.
It's Luna.
I know that's why.
That's a very fierce looking.
I think that's the first mate. It's definitely first mate Luna.
Yeah. That's the you don't disagree with Io because Luna will come after you.
Luna will come after you. Absolutely.
I'm really excited we got to dress Luna up.
Yeah.
For this skin.
Yeah, with a lot of our skins, you know, we can go crazy on things and turn it into kind of anything people want. But even with the dev team internally, when we kind of made Luna early on, everyone grew really attached to her really fast. So we knew with this pirate skin, we wanted to keep Luna as Luna in particular.
Oh, nice. New
what's
spray.
better than a moon fox with a pirate hat?
I like the dev stamp.
Honestly, I don't know how to follow that sentence up. So I guess that is really where it gets to be the best. You can see, I think, the emote in the air there, as well as the death stamp right at the bottom. The treasure chest, the skull and crossbones on it.
Dead man's chest.
The dead man's chest. That makes a lot of sense for it. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but while we were running around the UI, you could see that Strix's hat is a scallywag on there as well, so I'm assuming that's going to be coming with this. A lot of pirate-themed things.
There's actually, there's 6 titles in this battle pass, and we kind of wanted to make not necessarily a full pirate crew, but like there's a way for you to like crew up. There's like scallywag, smells like shark bait, first mate, the captain, ruler of the seas. There's one more that I can't recall off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
They're all gonna be fun. I can already imagine
titles.
the 5-man queue when you're just coming in and you're like, we're the pirate. Like you're gonna get as many pirate skins as you can on one. You have to get the battle pass to make sure you get at least 3 of them, as the 4th one is maybe a little bit deviant from the others. But get the skins, you get the titles, and then ideally, since you're a 5-man, you just roll through and win all of your games. So you're going to be happy. But that's going to be Io. The next one up on the list. And this was one, I feel like I haven't said this name in a while.
It's been a minute.
So, Pirates Treasure Ruckus is going to be coming through.
Dang, dude!
I'm not really changing much, I guess, about who he is. Still looking for gold, but now it's just more themed for him as a pirate.
This skin actually got teased a long time ago. This was a huge community request once we'd posted the concept art up online, and we knew we really had to deliver. And it's amazing. Double hooked hand goblin captain piloting his pirate ship on land. I mean, it's amazing.
You had to change it from having like the joysticks to shoot to the wheel because he can't thumb press any buttons.
Get it.
The ghost, the ship, luckily enough, can shoot on its own. I guess without him being able to go through. But that's honestly where my eyes are drawn, is to the ship in the back. I believe we do have the turnaround for this one and the voice line, so we can go ahead and take a listen and look at this Pirate's Treasure Ruckus.
Man the cannons! We're sending them to Dredge's locker!
Dredge's locker?
The alphabet's hard. All I know is the sea. You challenge me, ye be challenging the entire sea. Is ready to set off.
All I know is the sea. I like that one a lot. I love the way this skin looks. Like that just really feels so amazing.
There's a special part to it that we have to show off too. So it is. Thank you. I think it was Jacob that worked on that, or he at least informed me about it.
Yeah, Tech Art had a huge hand in it as well.
The details are great on this.
Lower right is star of the show at the moment. Saying.
I like the compass. Now, what is the compass? Is there a true north in the realm, or is the compass pointing towards anything in particular?
True north.
True north. Okay. So if you go that way, one day you'll find it. Maybe you'll see whatever the realm's version of the North Pole is.
Might have to know
where Dredge and his Santa outfit is.
Santa Dredge will be waiting.
Oh, it's so good.
Look at the parrot.
The parrot's really good.
Look at him move though.
Yeah.
When you weapon inspect. So that's the key there.
Yeah, the amount of detail here is just amazing on this skit. Yeah, it ducks under the gun.
He's moving them around.
Special shout out to animation and tech art, especially Kyle, for setting this up. Just amazing stuff.
On the north side of the map.
I am waiting. It's 45% right now, but I can imagine the Hexafire for this skin is probably going to look fantastic. as well as just the shielding, everything. I'm
I'm
a big fan of cannons, so I imagine this is going to hit exactly the note that I wanted it to.
I love the just hook also just presses the red
just
button.
Slaps it.
Just
it's just that moment, you get in and it's don't press the red button until you're told press the red button.
I think I was piloting this with 2 hooks too. It's not just a hook. It's not just one. It's 2.
The most unfortunate pirate. Unfortunately, now that he has 2 hooks, I imagine the next pirate skin for him, it's gonna have 2 peg legs.
2 peg legs.
Unfortunately for him, the next one 2 eye patches. It's just it's a downward spiral here for Ruckus. So we had to give him the really, really cool ship.
He almost wound up with 2 peg legs at one point.
And 2 hooks?
And 2 hooks.
Now, again, the most unfortunate pirate, he has to have the ship that can do it itself.
Yeah, it's pretty
dangerous, man.
They are.
But you'll see that. That is your level 10 reward that you're going to be able to get. So as you level up, this will be the first one you get after IO, and it's going to be amazing. The next one, well, you'll recognize this champion as she was in the Street Style Pass just a few. I guess at this point it's a lot longer than I think it was. I was going to say a few updates ago. That's been months now. And is going to be Pirate's Treasure Maeve joining the seas. And if you look at base Maeve, it already kind of screams to me Pirate Jacket. So this is perfect.
Oh yeah, again, excuse me. This was a skin concept we shared with the community.
Is one of the best splash arts that they have ever made, dude.
And
that is an amazing splash art.
I'm very happy to share it with everyone. But yeah, Maeve is almost a pirate by default if you kind of think about it. And yeah, the skin just really flew together.
It's just
so easy.
Take her from the streets, put her on the sea. Same
that Maeve made John.
Same mentality, I guess, for her. But
she's
now
got
she
a personality,
gets
that's a personality that translates.
In fact, we kind of just gave her a new wardrobe for it, really, more than anything. But we do have the turnaround and the voice back available for this one. It's your level 30 reward, so let's look at Pirate's Treasure Maeve.
Jeez.
Can you smell the salt on the wind? We'll be getting doubloons today.
Dude, that...
Geno saves. I spend. Yar, har, 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 har. 3 sheets to the wind. Try 3 knives to the heart.
Set sail, Captain.
See, now in my mind, the storyline for this skin is that she was just really good at what she did ordinarily. And so some pirate crew was just like, dude, come on, you're hanging out with us now. They get her decked out. She learns the terminology and gets a really, really nice jacket.
Well, you know, piracy pays well.
I like
her shivs too.
Ooh,
right, she is hand carved these from slightly longer blades.
The effects are great there too.
Look at the skull that's left. Oh yeah.
Is that gold that
you got a pirate in style.
This makes me happy. I love Maeve, and I think again this fits so perfectly with her.
Great
You're gonna
skin.
see Prowl running around.
Great splash art, honestly.
The thing that always catches my eye is the midnight, and I want to know how that'll look. But that's still
awesome.
Slaughter the normal Maeves. Get out of here. We only want pirates.
So I don't know if you guys can hear. That's another death stamp, or I'm sorry, 3D spray. Is that we actually have a first mate announcer pack too that you might have been hearing. He's really cool. Super happy with how that announcer pack turned off. So if you want someone to praise you as the captain, right? That's the battle pass to get. It's another buy-in reward.
At the same time, I feel like there might be the whenever you die, you get the praise when you're doing well.
Yes. Do that again.
So great.
The music.
That's I think my favorite thing with the most recent Maeve skins has been the theme of midnight changing to match the skin.
Oh yeah,
it fits perfectly.
It really does. It just has so much flavor.
It doesn't sound like the song that you're like, I'm about to die. But that's going to be the sound of death coming at you soon.
Not all pirates are grumpy.
You had to balance it out midnight.
I'm happy I got good at Maeve.
The creepiest thing people had heard in the game. So now you're balancing out with well, here's at least a somewhat jolly pirate song before you get knifed in the back.
Well, it's going to feel great for Maeve. You're like, I'm about to go in. Hope you survive. Well, not really.
So this is going to be your level 30 reward. Again, as you go through, she will be the 3rd one that you unlock. And then the final skin on the list, at least for the initial battle pass, will be coming through your level 50 reward for this one. It's not a pirate skin. It is Mermaid Ying that is going to be coming into the realm.
So this skin turned out incredible. Special shout out to the animation team.
Dude,
Jim,
which splash art is better?
This team really kind of brought it home.
Which splash art is
this was
freaking
a really
better,
challenging
dude?
Skin for art to tackle. Obviously, just turning a character into a
Holy
mermaid is no small feat. It
crap,
has considerable
dude.
animation.
In fact, now she has no feet.
She has no feet, exactly.
That's like as good as League of Legends.
Character, and her flying by default definitely helped us a lot. But there is considerable amounts of effort that went into this skin, and it turned out incredible.
That looks like
Austin really did
amazing
job on the 3D model, and it was designed by Mina. Just really everything came together on the skin. Turned out awesome.
My god!
I'm excited to be able to see it. I know we have the turnaround, the voice lines ready to listen to as well, so we can kind of go in, see what Mermaid Ying has to offer.
The sea calls to me as I call to you.
This is perfect.
Did you hear about the red ship that collided with the blue ship? All the sailors were marooned.
That's amazing.
Oh, I will not hesitate to drag you down to the ocean floor.
And that's what the red ship can
Yeah.
follow up.
Anchor.
Yeah, they're very capable of doing that.
Honestly,
that emote. It's it's not even that weird. She's just.
I would imagine that's actually how a mermaid would try to get around. That's the best case on land.
I mean,
like,
she already floats,
it's that
right?
Drag yourself, and I can't imagine that's any comfort.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of testament to one of the big changes we had to make with this skin. So this skin's compatible with all her emotes. Everything has custom animations to support the new skin itself. Really,
I even love the gun. It's small. It doesn't get in your way.
Being able to go back, I mean, you look at the Shore Patrol Battle Pass, and you're looking at the water effects there. It's very, very like similar, I guess, sounds, but I love the way we've managed to kind of manipulate. Here's this mirror that normally just shoots beams out of it into a pure water gun.
Yeah, and audio really, with the weapon in particular, well, just all of it, came out awesome. Thomas did such a great job. She has this kind of touch of a siren-like quality.
Oh.
If you listen, that is just incredible.
Like,
I heard it right there on the deploy.
Hopefully those don't become too invisible. I mean, good for Ying, but bad for playing against
Bubble effects are great.
Yeah.
Being able to kind of get it. Yeah, the bubble effects. I love like when the illusion transforming into just pure water. Like you kind of know it's like I just shaped this into a clone of me, but it's really just water.
Oh yeah, no, this is.
Dang. Yeah. I'll tell you in a second, Golden.
Great. It's definitely like I think his best skin by far so far.
Can we see it in 3P as well? I want to see your movement in 3P, if possible. Oh no, I'm gonna break something.
No.
Don't break anything, Kevin.
I'm not breaking. I'm not controlling the camera right now.
Luckily, it's not you who breaks it. If it does break, either way.
Such a good skin.
This is going to show us the illusory rift, as seen on allies being able to come through. So those are the effects you'll see. Again, very Siren-esque to me. Because it seems like they're like emitting.
Oh, he spawned other Yings. I was like, wait a minute, what the heck? Why are there normal
If you're in battle against her, you don't want to run against them. They're healing very, very much.
Wow. Roland always brings it home. Skin's just yet another testament to that. I have an easy job. I have an amazing team.
I love everything about this.
Makes it a lot easier.
Skin.
There's going to be the bubble splashes again. You can see her in all
I love the
of
Maeve
her glory.
skin. I love this skin.
And again, this is your level 50 reward. The weapon looks great. The skin looks great. And you know what? You can double down on every single one of them that you saw today, much like you have in the past battle passes. So as you hit level 50, then you want to go beyond. You will be able to earn
let's look
the
at the recolors
of all four of these as you go forward, much like the last ones that we've had. In
limited recolors.
You'll get to see, the limited ones. So if you truly want to flex on them, it's not just having the battle pass and getting the skins. It's having the recolor. Like
the extra
Mermaid Ying is one thing. Recolor Mermaid Ying, it's next level.
Check out the Siren Ying.
I'm excited.
There we go. That's the name. As you go through, I'm sure I think we have turnarounds to be able to look at for those. No voice lines on them, so we can just kind of talk about them as we come
I like
through.
the other one better.
Changing her a little more red instead of blue.
I like the other one.
To kind of make it
Gonna say, I like the other one a little bit better.
It's a little more menacing.
Yeah, just a little. I mean, sirens can be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, actual mermaid like lore is not. They're pretty vicious, right? They're more sirens. Like I'm here to sing you into a lullaby and then drown you to see and eat you. That's actual mermaid.
Everybody
though.
else.
It's not
okay.
Little Mermaid.
So apparently people will use this. They like it better than the
pretty deadly.
I mean, I guess it looks different.
On the topic of mermaids, I do know we have someone on the dev team that is championing quite hard for a, shall we say, a male celestial mermaid. So if we can make it a meme enough, maybe one day.
Don't give her hope.
Just spam it at Paladins game on Twitter and only say like merman or male mermaids, whatever you want. Either way, you're gonna be set. But now we can go ahead and take a look at the recolor for Maeve. as it comes up. So a little more.
Right, it was brown. I do like this recolor much more.
Describe this as just getting like I guess the purple and gold.
A little more scary pirate.
See in there.
So good looking.
Looking good. I like the skull as well changed for the bandana. I'm glad I noticed that before we move on. Because now we also have Ruckus.
I love it.
The ship. Ooh, Ghost Pirate.
That's
it's like.
People love the Makoa Ghost Pirate.
Yeah, so this fits in perfectly with that.
Dude. Golden, but we aren't complaining about this skin.
It's not just pirates. Either way,
doesn't need another skin. Golden, we're not going to complain. It's good.
As she comes up and is available to be able to look through.
Oh, what the heck, dude! That looks amazing.
It's weird how colors can do that for you, but I love the changes and a little bit more. I want to say just enunciation on Luna's hat.
Oh my gosh, Golden is getting attacked.
Look, nice and celestial.
Let them be, boys.
Yeah, we had mentioned the extras, so you'll be able to earn those as you go forward. Have to make sure the parrot. Dude, you already spilled coffee. Don't spill Sprite everywhere, as well as
bro.
the pirates, probably. You're out on salt water all day, so it's pretty dangerous out there. But we had mentioned titles. We had mentioned death stands. We had seen the emotes.
Yeah.
There's also going to be, I think, a loading frame.
Yeah, it is
going to be coming with us.
Incredible.
Loading frame is amazing.
So good.
The whole plethora of extras, obviously, as you're going from 1 to 50, as you're going to be able to go forward. I think we have, at some point, we can show the video for the loading frame as we jump forward. So you'll see it
oh, that's weird. It's like an underwater fish tank.
Underwater, and the fish swim through it. We saw it in review one day in an early stage and just blew everyone away. I think it's our best loading frame.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so cool loading
just dialing it up another notch every single time.
Really
so you're making it difficult because at a certain point it's going to be hard to outdo yourselves.
It's great.
So while it is an easy job because you're doing so well, eventually maybe
we just have to make it bigger.
As of right now, we haven't done it just yet. So that's going to do it for the Pirates
True
Battle Passes, the skins that you're going to be able to get as well.
But
extras
overall, I think like
it's not the only skins coming with this update. You're also going to be able to see Golden Maeve and Golden Ruckus joining in.
Golden Maeve and Ruck.
For a lot of these skins, the color scheme is always what screams loudest, and it just looks so good.
Oh yeah. On the more recent kind of mastery level skins, we're definitely trying to dial out the gold.
That's pretty dope.
Funny. I mean, it's a thing you'll never make everyone happy, but early on we definitely got, I think, a lot of flack from not having enough gold for folks. We're kind of definitely on the opposite end of the spectrum now.
I need those daggers. Yeah, they're sick.
Why wouldn't you want to look fabulous?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're going to be able to make it nice gold.
What is this?
I like to imagine that
Yellow Ruckus
is now retired from piracy. All the gold that he has gained from that, he literally just went into making sure that his ride was blinged out. So he's perfectly fine.
His ride is his retirement plan.
He's got the bolt written in gold on the shoulder.
Did he buy new hands? He's got those back.
That's nice. I mean, if you have enough
too many Maeve skins.
Anything is possible.
He found a really
but
good doctor,
I understand what golden means, but at the same time, like,
where we get some surgeons that come through.
I would have liked
really good hand surgery and hand transplants.
Could have been
a Torvald pirate skin.
I guess we have enough magic. You don't need surgeons. You just have to know the right person in the realm to be able to get it. But that's going to be those two skins coming out, the gold skins for your Maeve and Ruckus. And again, when we were looking earlier at the UI rework, one of the things at the very bottom. So Time Warp, you might be wondering what that is.
Pirate skin too. They need to buff Ruckus. That's what needs to happen.
From Time Warp event.
Yeah, so this is actually like a super cool event, totally different from anything we had done before, but we really wanted to do a large event that is totally free to play, so everyone can just hop right in, no matter who you are, and collect some of these awesome rewards. The theme is kind of champions through the decades, and not specifically the Realm decade, but our decade, so like the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Talk about this later.
90s and today, so we've got like some groovy stuff, there's some flapper stuff, and these are all shown in sprays and avatars that are going to be available for the first one of the days. It starts on August 30th,
I love, what is that,
and
Talus?
through September 26th.
No. Who is that?
Every day, something totally different. Some days it is going to be first one of the day to get one of these awesome sprays and avatars. And there's actually a couple here that aren't even shown. So there's more where these come from.
Evie. Oh, that's Evie.
Rock being shown.
Rock is incredible. It's an avatar, right?
Yes, it is an avatar.
So good.
It's really
Groovy Grover?
It is Groovy Grover. Groover, if you would.
Is there skins in the Time Warp?
Get those, and like you said, that it's free. So it's not you have to purchase anything for this event. It's just you log in. You're going to be able to get these as you log in every day throughout September.
Yeah, and there's a full calendar in game showing you what is going to be available on which day. Some days it's first one of the day for this. Sometimes it's double battle pass that day, all champions unlocked, all like sports unlocked, some gold. It's just a lot of stuff to earn through all of September.
Yeah. So throughout that month, as long as you play the game, you're gonna get rewards given to you. Just for free, because that's exactly what it is. It's literally just log in, play the game, have some fun, and keep going. But along with that, when we have this update released, we're going to be bringing in some chests as well that are coming, either some coming back, or I guess one coming back, and then 2 new additions.
So we have the EDM chest and the Robo chest, which are 2 brand new chests this patch, and then returning the fan favorite Little Box of Horrors, including some of the Halloween skins from last year. Oh, I'm moving way too fast.
Thanks for the follow, Norfolk Gamer. I appreciate you.
So you saw the EDM chest, and now this is the Robo chest.
And then, yes, I could get that skin.
The Little Box of Horrors,
yes, the Zin skin.
Halloween skins from last year.
Brave, I need you.
Daywalker Vivian, Nightmare Fernando, and Death Speaker Yang.
Being able to come through. I also
thanks for the follow,
Norfolk. It still stands in my heart as one of my favorites.
Dude, just trying to
giant jack-o'-lantern bomb
king
behind menacingly for the art. Pumpkin as it is.
Very original.
Every October I equip that skin.
Those are going to be the ones that come in with the next update. So you're going to be able to get your Halloween skins back on just in time for Halloween, as it would happen. So you can come through, grind, get your time warp icons, your sprays, and maybe throw some crystals at the chests there to get your favorite skins, either for the season or just because
I'm just excited. I'll try to get that Zen one.
We also have some community things that are going to be coming up. And well, just a whole plethora of things. Honestly.
Community things.
So this weekend specifically, this Saturday and Sunday, we are going to have all champions unlocked and double battle pass XP for everyone. So if you have some friends who you've been wanting to introduce to the game, it's a great weekend. They can hop right in and they'll have all champions unlocked immediately, and you can go ahead and get your double battle pass.
Can I post links? I can't remember. If you post a link,
we're also doing something special this patch with champion birthdays,
or Jay. I think Jay's here too.
A little bit more into as we get
a
closer,
model
but
let
just
it through.
Keep an eye out for some really cool stuff surrounding champion birthdays this patch, and then a lot of stuff.
New forums.
New forums, yes. We completely revamped our forums. So
new forums have been out for a while. What the heck? We already made a video about that.
The issues that we were having with our past forums. There's a couple of really interesting dev blogs up there right now.
What I need is Iron Man.
If you want to go and check them out, we did like a making of IO and stuff. So there's a lot of really cool stuff on our new forums. That is at forums.paladins.com. So super simple, easy to remember.
And I think one of the other things that's actually going to be coming, like a lot of these, well, the forums are now, as it is. There's another thing that's going to be today, as it would happen.
Yes.
And it's mount we talked about during the last update show. Today's its release day.
Yeah, that's the Sacred Wolf DLC. We talked about it last patch, but this is the first wolf mount in Paladins. Technically the first wolf mount.
This is when they talk about this. I thought they just forgot about it.
Victor.
You could be a wolf and ride a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get wolves on wolves. Not on wolves, but wolves on wolves. So at least you get that kind of, I don't know, meme, joke, whatever. Either way, moving forward, so you're able to get your mount today. So that'll be able to come through a little bit later. And then the final question, Molly, as everyone would want, when can we expect to get on PTS?
PTS will be out by Friday. The team normally does make sure it gets out by the weekend. So normally
all right, PTS time, here we come.
Sometimes they surprise us with a Thursday early release, but definitely before the weekend, everyone.
So you're going to have to make the daring decision. You want to try out the new stuff? You want double battle pass experience.
That means a lot of YouTube videos on the way, boys.
You can do both.
You can
do both. Actually, just wake up, do PTS in the morning, find anything that you want,
what
send
they
it
change.
in
I'll let you know,
forums,
Golden. Don't worry.
Discord. Make sure you report those properly. And then in the afternoon, chill with your friends by playing. You get some double experience on your battle pass.
And as
PTS,
usual,
here we come, boys.
PTS feedback channel on our Discord, so you guys can head over there. And like normally, we'll be doing an Instagram Q&A tomorrow. Specifically about this patch, so we'll be opening up questions tonight, Instagram.com/paladinsgame, and you'll be able to ask the dev team anything you want about this patch.
Awesome. So keep an eye out for that. Ask the dev team what you want. Obviously, tweet us everything you like from this update and everything that's going on. We're still dressed like pirates, even though the pirate thing, that didn't last anywhere near as long. I feel like it was worth sitting here the whole time. But either way, it was perfect. Thank you for joining us. Well, I guess
an eye is what I've learned through sitting here for an hour.
Being a designer is the most difficult thing. He's lost an eye. His bird is wilting.
It's okay. Half my issues went away when I lost an eye. I can't see half the issues anymore. So we're fine. We're great. We're great.
Okay, buddy.
Let him live his best life. He's
cringe.
But thank you for tuning in to this update show. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you when the update goes live. Hopefully we'll see you this
Kevin
weekend
is cringe,
as we're all
bro.
grinding out our battle pass. But for everyone here at the table, it's been a fun time. And we'll talk to you for the next update show.
Oh, heck yeah. Thanks for watching.